Welcome to Sager Conservation Area in Quinte West, kind of north of Trenton, northwest of Belleville, and near the little town of Sterling. And I apologize if the lighting on the camera is bad. I took the filter off. Yeah, the sun is like right overhead of me. The lookout tower here's got a neat shield. But yeah, I know this has been here for years. It's kind of the first time I've ever been here. I was in the area, so I just stopped by. Really cool little place. Let me back up 15-20 minutes back to the parking lot and I'll show you how to get up here. So the map over there shows about a kilometer loop you can do out here, or as you can see by the rock coming out of the parking lot, we can go directly to the lookout tower. I did hear a couple planes flying around already, so maybe we'll see something. And I've left the GPS running here in the camera because there's quite a few steps here. They're really nice. I would say they're limestone, but the color's not right on them. I don't think they're an engineered step. Well, maybe they are. It looks pretty smooth right there. Unless that's just cut line. Also notice there's a bunch of horseflies or something flying around here too. Because of course we are, you know, in the trees in the wilderness. It's kind of what you get around here this time of year. But as you can see, there's a few steps. I think I saw a sign somewhere said there's 100 in total. So definitely bring the bug spray with you. I got chased by, I'm not gonna call it a swarm, but by 2 or 3 rather aggressive horse flies or deer flies or something. They really wanted to take a chunk out of my back of my neck. But yeah, views are pretty good from up here. As you can see, there's the lookout tower way up there. We're gonna go up top and there is a small airport over there. We're gonna go over and see if we can see it. So made it to the top of the tower. Still a couple of those little deer flies chase me up here. Definitely bring some bug spray with you on this trip up here. But they got some really neat signs up here showing you what you can see in the distance. Got a water tower in Belleville, 15 kilometers away. I see one straight there close up. I think that's the one at the north end of town. I do see a bunch of buildings. And I apologize, the GoPro won't pick this up. I'm shooting in 4K. Maybe I can zoom it in production in my editing software and actually see some stuff. But I see a bunch of buildings from downtown Belleville over there. I do see an airplane way off there in the distance. Probably too big to be coming in here. Might be coming into Trenton, into the air base. I did see a Herc flying around a minute ago. I'll see if I can put that footage in here as well. And really can't see the Bay of Quinte here. There's the map of it, and it's kind of neat. You know, it's 100 so kilometers, zigzags its way down through to Kingston on this end. Now, ironically, that's the city of Belleville there and city of Trenton, the 2 closest major cities to us, and we're kind of probably up here on this map. It really doesn't actually show it. Moved over to the west side. If there was planes at the little airport today coming in, we would see them. This is the approach line to their little runway, and you can't see it, but I think way out in the distance over there, there's some roofs. I see light glistening off of, like almost like they're steel roofs. That might be the hangars over there. We'll take a drive over there on the way out. Some interesting facts on the board over here. If we were here 20,000 years ago, we'd be under 2 kilometers of ice from the ice age, because that's how all this land was formed. Just the thousands of years of the ice moving dug everything up. If you're into hiking and geology at all in this part of Ontario, you've heard of Oak Ridges Moraine. That's kind of what this is, this rolling hillside in the distance according to the sign. And yeah, the watershed through this area services almost 250,000 people with their freshwater needs. sort of on the north side over here. Way off in the distance, and I can barely see the cell phone tower, is the town of Campbellford. It's about 22 kilometers away. The GoPro will never pick that up. I can just barely make it out with my naked eye. I wasn't planning on it to stop here today, but I've got only shoots HD, but it's an older Panasonic camcorder. Does have a 50 times optical zoom. I could have put the tripod up here and, you know, seen all this stuff. Wasn't planning on coming, just happened to be close by, saw the sign, and figured I'd stop in. Not a lot to see eastward anymore. As you can see, the trees have kind of grown up, and that's kind of what the sign shows too. If you've ever seen a flying squirrel, they are kind of neat. They don't really have wings, but they got a lot of excess loose skin off their limbs, and they actually glide through the air. And turkeys, there's something a lot of people may not know. If you're, you know, from my generation, you'll remember this. So turkeys were overhunted in the late 1800s, early 1900s here in southern Ontario, and they were just wiped out completely. We didn't have wild turkeys back around 85. So man, that's 40 years ago. I remember this. This is getting old, you know, sucks, guys. But yeah, I remember they started introducing wild turkeys back into the area, and now they're not overrunning the area. They are abundant though. Get out in the e-bike, I run into them all the time, wander around. Snowmobiling a couple years ago, one of the people we were sledding with, wild turkeys can sort of fly, not very well, but they can kind of sort of fly, and wild turkey came out of a little bit of a hillside above the sled trail down over and hit the person we were sledding with and knocked her right off the machine. Actually, you know, she was okay. It was a good laugh, but you know, you got to kind of watch out for those things. They're a big bird. Yeah, there's the pathway coming up, and really neat, really cool out here. I think I can hear an airplane over there. That's not the airplane over there you hear. That's somebody's leaf blower. Do hear something else over there. So I'm gonna jump back in the car, zip around the corner, and like I say, the little airport's right there, Sterling Municipal Airport. A little private place. There's a couple of little small twin engines there. I don't know how big the runway is. It's half paved, half grass. I'll step to the side here a little bit. I'll put a copy of the nav chart for the right there. Anybody, you know, private pilots, I'm sure they've heard of it. But yeah, I'll pick you up at the airport. Stick around.
Okay, ready?
How cool was that? Rolled up, and there's a couple old classic biplanes sitting here. One, you had to hand flip the prop to get it to start. That was kind of neat to see. Unfortunately, just as they were getting ready to take off, I got a phone call that I had to take regarding winterization of our boat. Imagine thinking about winterizing on the 17th of July. But yeah, so hopefully I did get them taken off. One of the other gentlemen was here at the airport. He did wander right out, so I probably could have followed him, unfortunately. But, you know, got to take care of business, right? It is a business day today. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, stick around. You never know what may be coming up next. Till next time, see you then.